Scott Golden here with the WCW Saturday Night Review Series for the 13th of March, 1993, and we are happily going into the spring of 1993. The tag team champions still, which are Douglas and Steamboat, facing off against some enhancement talent. Nothing really big to write home about here. Douglas takes the beginning of the match, arm bars, arm locks, and the likes, tries to get some sidesteps on the enhancement talent, doesn't really get all he wants on that, grabs a headlock, and goes over, tags off to Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat, of course, a big deal in WCW/the NWA for several years prior, former world champion, and a big deal for Douglas to be involved with. We get kind of the champions are here just to fill time, really. I mean, an enhancement talent match, including a relatively unnamed masked intruder, not that big a deal. Chick Donovan, I believe, is the other individual, and heels work over the arms for a bit. Douglas takes the inverted atomic drop, among other things, pretty easily. Limps around a little bit and doesn't do all that much with the concept of the match. Really slowed down, cinches up on the arm, and tries to get as much of an advantage as he possibly can. We see the Steamboat managing to stay with his man a little bit here, and a cross body by Douglas gives him the victory, among other things. Then we move on to another enhancement challenge match, or talent match. Vinny Vegas facing off against an enhancement talent. Vegas, who leaves in less than about 6 full months here. Uses power early, punch kick, basic stuff. Doesn't even really have a defined singles finish. Has been tagging with different people over the years. Dallas Page, DDP, the most notable, but also tagged a time or two with the Diamond Stud, and Big Sky most recently. Chokes out with the knee over the throat and other things. Roll of the dice. He actually does execute the Snake Eyes, among other things. And we go back to the replay where the Snake Eyes is the main shot shown. Jesse Ventura and Tony Schiavone continue to be your announcers for this deal. NWA Heavyweight Champion Barry Windham is up next. Windham and Rhodes still haven't really settled their deal. Zinc is the challenger for the NWA Championship here. Johnny Gunn, the challenger here. Windham, who is normally in good shape, has not been for the last several months and continues not to be back here. Shots to the midsection by Windham. Windham gets whipped into the ropes and is a big back body drop victim by Gunn. Gunn tries to cut the ring off, uses some arm bars, arm ringers, and the like. Windham with a couple of body slams along the way, doesn't really care about much other than gaining an advantage. Kick to the midsection and other things by Windham, trying to slow the match down. Not a match really worth writing home about. Some quick near falls, including a crossbody by the challenger Gunn. Gunn has been pushed since about October of '92. Near falls, including attempted DDTs and the superplex. Windham finally gets the victory after the leaping DDT gets him the victory. Obviously, we're going towards the summer match with Flair, which is not a great place to be if you're there. Enhancement challenge match with Pat Rose and J.D. Wolf against Scorpio and Bagwell. Scorpio and Bagwell work together a pretty good bit here, and I gotta grab my phone, so I will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And I mean, ultimately, that is the basic directives that take place here. Ultimately, WCW in 1993 is in a rebuilder stage. Continuation of really good stuff with Scorpio. Scorpio manages dives over the top rope. Bagwell tries to keep pace, certainly does the more basic maneuvers. Interesting that in the majority of time. It's Scorpio that brings the flash, and Bagwell that gets the pinfalls, or the majority of matches that, or the majority of the match that does, things that really are there. A slingshot by Bagwell, interesting, and a dropkick under the chin. Bagwell and Scorpio are a really good tag team for the time, although that is more due to Scorpio really trying to bring some charisma and some draw out of Bagwell, honestly. Jump leg kick by Scorpio. Scorpio continuing to be one of the hottest people in the area. Leaping clothesline by Scorpio and trying to get the match over. And again, it's basic. It's really basic stuff. Scorpio eventually manages to help the team get the win. And again, we go on to what later becomes tag team champions for the time. And Larry Zbyszko interviews the First Lady of WCW, otherwise known as Missy Hyatt, who says again she still wants to get in touch with Ric Flair. That angle's been running for weeks now. Baby Boy Smith against Tony Vincent. Vincent, I think this is his first, certainly WCW Saturday Night match I can remember. Maybe first WCW match ever. Against Davey Boy Smith. Davey Boy Smith going towards Big Van Vader over the next several weeks and months here. Building towards the Slamboree pay-per-view that's coming up in just about 8 or 9 weeks here at the time. Sloppy dive out of the way. Bulldog doesn't do too much, does manage to get a body slam. Bulldog, in fact, says that he does want to get his hands on Vader in the WCW Championship. Also says that he is challenged by the fact that he wants to be one of the best in WCW. That's where the challenge in wrestling is these days. Rick Rude in a business suit coming out and basically saying that he wants Dustin Rhodes and the U.S. title back, the title that he believes was unfairly taken from him. The team of Tex Slashinger, Shanghai Pierce up next. They're in an enhancement match, and it basically turns into a complete brawl. Nothing to write home about. Simple match. The team of Slashinger and Pierce bring out the bull ropes. Get a hanging suplex. Does Pierce. Tex probably considered the leader of the team at this point. Really basic stuff. They kind of get things hung out and over, and really quick match. Grizzly Smith agrees to giving them a future match with the Cole twins, Keith and Kent Cole, because of matches they've had in previous places. Also saying they want some competition. The Cole twins are exactly that, twins. Shanghai Pierce in there for the majority with one of the twins. They are virtually impossible to tell apart. Roll-up attempt by one of the twins doesn't get what he wants on that. The cross body by same twin a few seconds later. Baby faces running wild. Young baby faces trying to, appeal to the high school / college age group of folks. Hard shots there, and Slashinger tries to cut him off in the corner, up and over, but a short knee from Shanghai Pierce on the apron on the outside. Hard shots along the way, and the Cole twins both in the middle of the ring trying to get whatever advantage they can. They do end up getting a victory here. Cole's being pushed relatively aggressively. Meanwhile, the Max Payne in an enhancement match. Another guy they're pushing pretty heavy. He ends up moving into a feud with Johnny B. Bad within a month or two here. Walks to the ring like a heavy metal star and tries to toss around his adversary here. Doesn't exactly go the way he intends, but that's pretty okay. Snap over by Payne. Payne doesn't really seem to care. Drops an elbow on his man and tries to eliminate him as quick as possibly can. Tries to hook a armbar and does on his adversary. Vader is out next. Vader, who doesn't seem to care about facing off against anybody. Dave Hart is the adversary for the day. Wouldn't want to be Mr. Hart. He is not related to the Calgary Hearts, to my understanding. Hart, obviously, a pretty common last name. Anyway, Vader boxes the ears and kind of goes after him a little bit. Big splash in the corner, and Vader going pretty well after him. Fresh slam sends the man back into the ring, using a lot of power. Vader, obviously a very powerful individual, not understated, and sends him into the guardrail with a shot over the kind of like the hot shot over the guardrail, and a power bomb by Vader. Vader is unimpressed and unintimidated. Another pair of twins, this time the Blue Twins, Jacob and Eli Blue, otherwise known as the Harris Boys. One of them hits a standing fall forward slam on enhancement talent and continues to kind of do the Mountain Brawlers gimmick. By this point, I think they've been in Smoky Mountain. They end up in ECW for a while as well before ending up as the part of the DOA in the WWF, and certainly these are two guys that I understand the look of. I understand the appeal of being tough guys, but at the same time never really understood how they managed to hang out for several years at a national level. No disrespect to them as people, it's just not a draw that I saw. Not a great wrestling match, as it literally is brawl, punch, kick, and some power moves along the way. Bear hug in the middle of an enhancement match tells me that they had not had virtually any process of, national TV exposure. Then we see a modified chokeslam powerbomb type maneuver, and the Blue Twins go and challenge just about any team they possibly can. Ric Flair out next with a promo alongside, at the time, best friend Arn Anderson. Flair says he wants the World Champion Vader and the NWA Championship he never lost. And Arn again teases the Horsemen. They obviously rebuild in May or so, but needless to say, that's there. Paul Orndorff out for a very short contest, nothing to write home about. Orndorff has been making a good bit of noise over wanting to face Dustin Rhodes, and gets to do so here. U.S. title on the line. They've got about 15 minutes or so in that vein. Also, Rhodes has to worry about Rick Rude being in the building, as Rude was promoted earlier in the day, and he certainly doesn't seem to care much about following rules. Orndorff gives a quick break early. Rhodes still struggling as a babyface, good enough babyface, but at the time, certainly I and many other people underestimated how valuable he would be. He's been in the industry now, 32, 33 years, something like that. Hard kick by Rhodes. Rhodes manages to stay on Orndorff, tries to crank him up. Orndorff tries for a clothesline, doesn't get what he wants, gets Rhodes, the champion, gets a crossbody for a near fall there. Tries to slow the match down, but still keep the action going. And Orndorff comes back with a side headlock. Beautiful match if you want to learn basic psychology in front of a TV audience or TV shoot. Hard shots by Orndorff. Orndorff tries to cheat, gets him choking in, tries to get the reverse chinlock in, and goes pretty aggressively through the next several minutes. Kicks and punches along the midsection there. Orndorff takes the majority of the second half of the match, beats down on the champion, nearly gets himself disqualified a couple of times, but gets staggered. Hard kick by Rhodes. Rhodes nearly getting rid of the match. Doesn't get all he wants on a drop kick, but gets enough to send Orndorff to the canvas. Orndorff drapes the leg over the bottom rope. Then we see Orndorff sending Rhodes to the outside of the ring. Rick Rude comes down and uses hit this time to take advantage of the situation. And they further the feud there. Rude glad that he interferes and goes to the back. Orndorff does not get any sort of victory there, but the idea pretty simple, that Orndorff goes into the steel post, and things are unfinished there. Disqualification on Rhodes for using the steel post. We are out of time for this particular episode, but till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.